pressure. Now, in our second discussion, we're going to look at the specific role of this particular process of osmosis. As we had already discussed about the role of diffusion in the maybe uptake of gaseous or respiratory gases, digested food, and also maybe the secretion of waste materials from the body. The concept of osmosis or the process of osmosis has an important role to play insofar as the functioning of the cell is concerned. And one of them is absorption of water from the soil by the root hairs that we mentioned, of course, during our discussion for diffusion. Now, basically, the concept of diffusion and osmosis, as we said, osmosis is a special type of diffusion. Therefore, this process is as well going to be exploited by the root hairs in the soils in order to absorb water from the soil through the process of osmosis. Now, in herbaceous plants, or maybe plants which have succulent stems, we're going to see that, or basically plants which are less woody, we're going to see that water is absorbed and the cells become turgid, hence providing what we call support. Now, in this case, through the process of osmosis, those plants are able to maybe attain their figure and maybe provide general support to the plant in order to allow them to perform the normal functioning. Now, during the respiration in plants, we're going to see that the process of osmosis assists in opening and closing of the stomata, which are opening on the leaves of plants, of course, which assist in the concept of osmosis and other physiological processes which are taking place for the plant in order to support life. So in this case, we're going to see that during the day and night, of course, the concept of osmosis works in a reverse way, such that during the day, the gut cells that exist in the leaves, of course, will make or synthesize glucose and draw in water, therefore making the cells to open the stomata. And during the night, we're going to see that they lose their turgidity, and therefore the process of photosynthesis does not take place, and therefore it's going to result in the closing of the stomata. Now, apart from that, there's in nutrition in plants, of course, we're going to see that there are some plants which are referred to as insectivorous plants, and these are plants which are able to, of course, trap animals and digest them as a source of maybe proteins and other source of food. And in this case, the concept of osmosis works in order to trap those particular insects during that process of maybe trying to find their nutrition. Now, in this case, the concept of osmosis, of course, is very essential in our human body or animal bodies for the regulation of water intake and out, especially through absorption by our kidneys. Now, we're going to see that this specific process of osmosis assists in reabsorbing some of the body that, some of the water that may be needed by the body during the process of maybe water intake or ultrafiltration that we're going to learn when we're going to talk about the renals or maybe the kidney, the process, the normal functioning of the kidney, etc. Now, just like diffusion, there are various processes. We mentioned about the concept of temperature, the size of the molecules, the diffusion gradients that exist between this place and this one, as the factors which affect the process of diffusion. For osmosis, we're going to see that there are also other ways in which it's going to be affected, subject to the concentration of the solution and the gradient that exists between these two specific regions across the same permeable membrane. And now in that regard, we're going to see that the greater the concentration gradient between the 2 points, the faster the rate of diffusion or movement of materials across this semi-permeable membrane. And then the effect of temperature also, we're going to see so that the temperature will also be experienced in this case. But for normal function of the cells,